Hello there, everybody, and welcome to another round of the Azure Dreams Riders of the Sky tournament. I'm Lady Demi, and I will be commentating today for Czaj and Reven's match, which we will be getting counted down and underway right about now. Now, for those of you who are unfamiliar, this is a mystery dungeon roguelike RPG for the PlayStation 1. Our runners will have 3 hours to climb the mysterious second tower of especially more randomly than regular monster tower full of dungeon monsters, traps, and treasures out to destroy them. The treasures probably aren't, but they'll mostly be gold coins, and that's going to be disappointing for everybody. For the first 2 hours, they will have unlimited re-entries, and after that, it will just be a matter of who can climb the furthest, the fastest. Highest floor at the ultimate floor, highest floor that they can reach across the 3 hours is the winner. They will be taking off in just a moment. In fact, they're taking off. I was looking at the wrong thing for a moment there. So what makes the second tower, as we tend to call it, because we don't have any other name for it, or different from the main monster tower? Well, for one, it is not limited in its floor count. The regular monster tower goes up for 40 floors, several of which are fixed. This doesn't do that. After floor 2, it will just be however high they can go, though we do lose stability after 99. The second tower is vanilla in the sense that it is in the game's code directly, but access was removed at some point in development, probably because it loses stability. We have changed up a couple of things. We have skipped the tutorial, and we have encountered this here barrage, so that they can have some fun looking for items in the early game. Czaj, getting a water crystal, that'll be nice. Nice, though immediately going to toss it back in. Debatable on how valuable that will end up being, but fair enough. They're not in quite the same position, so I think the luck will not be exactly the same between them. The 2 towers will be seeded so that they will be racing up the same tower on the same entry, though if they have to re-enter, they may start to diverge. Or not between. Yeah, Water and Holy versus Holy Malicious. Reven ends up with the kinder setup above the 2. Malicious, though having malicious spells identified isn't bad, but on the other hand, They are fighting Gosh, which we don't normally do in these tournaments, but this is a perfect opportunity to get something a little special, particularly medicinal herb, and that is handy. But also the wind crystal, which the second tower doesn't have a lot of. This will allow them both to enter and re-enter while keeping their things if they run into a situation that they simply can't handle. But this is about as kind a start as you can get. And with the troll right there for that first level worth of XP, and another barrage. Czaj occasionally goes overboard in terms of using barongs, but I don't think that at this stage one really can go overboard. Yeah, that is an unfortunate glitch of the second tower. It occasionally does not have the code needed to restart the music if it's the same music as last time. as the last floor. Or when they get their level ups, they will presumably fix that, though. So we can switch to Chai if we want to get that back a little bit sooner, but that troll will give us that first level up we need to not be just standing in silence. So, among the other special features of the second tower are the hiding of item names. In Japanese, these have, like, descriptions, which make it a little bit easier, but since we're using the English version of the game as our backdrop, we are just left with these hearts. Hearts, which can be renamed and identified properly, so that is good, and that's really nice, particularly, I would say, with the holy bells, where it's always good to know you have one. When there's one bell you really want, one bell you occasionally want, and one bell that is, even by the standards of Azure Dream items, really niche. Reven carrying around that barong to be a good boomerang if needed, and to block off certain corridors. Since you can more or less convince barongs to just stand there and spit items back up until they die, or at least until they run out of MP, they make pretty good bundles of EXP and also a deterrent for any monster that comes remotely near you. And we can see Chai loading up on gold coins in case of more barongs later on, wanting to have something to toss in. The game, in theory, should be checking the rarity of the item you put in, and using that to determine the rarity of the item you get out of the barong, but that doesn't actually work. Instead, it checks the rarity of the item you get out of the barong to determine what the item you get out of the barong should be. It should be exactly as rare as the thing it's giving you. There are no serious issues with Azure Dream's programming, and that could be anything, but it's probably nothing. Getting calls in chat for the malicious spell to be used to get some more EXP from monsters while on this early enough for that's reasonable. I would call this probably some of the better setups in terms of what what monsters you could get on this floor. Or they cycle 2 in and 2 out, though in this case I think it's just 1 in and 1 out of the regular array, or I guess it might still be 2 out. Either way. They got probably the monsters you would most want to see on floor 3. Ooh, that could be handy. I would say that of the wands they managed to get, and that's immediately not the one you want to see. Killers are not pleasant. Luckily, the elevator is right there, and Reven is just gonna keep walking. Just keep walking. Of the wands they got from their various barong fun times, I would call Chai the obvious winner. The money wand is just, hey, do you want more coins? Are you sure you don't want more coins? There are 1,000,000 coins. You could have 1,000,001. Yeah, okay, after that 3rd floor being fairly gentle, after that, they have just decided, let's have all the really difficult ones. It looks like Reven is trying to carefully bait the Saber with a very unusual form of AI-1 strat. I don't think I've ever seen it work quite like this. But this does seem to have worked. That's very cool. Oh, a dragon. And Reven just sort of tilts the camera and thinks about what he can do here, because that's not good. That's bad. So one of the other key features of the second tower we are seeing is that what monsters are on these floors is randomized. They are not the monsters you would normally expect, and they level up so much faster. Reven has now chosen which of the two evils he considers lesser. Oh, he is spending some spell ball charges to take out both, probably. Though, that's not enough for a dragon. I think he'll probably be using the same sort of AI-1 and retreat approach. No? Just regular AI-1 at the corridor, but it looks like there's still more company. This is a bad little corridor Reven finds himself in. Meanwhile, I get the impression that Czaj is indulging the gambling addiction still. Which is not surprising, and this is probably the best time to indulge the gambling addiction. And found a font scroll, which is neat. It's a good item to have labeled. Yeah, and there's still that killer. But it looks like Czaj might be interested in standing and fighting it. Yeah, it's a good way to get items identified early. It's a good way to fill up an inventory quickly with good resources that Czaj is currently figuring out how much he wants to spend. Looks like because he fought the killer off, he is loading up on coins, because there'll still be more barongs on this floor. Oh, and Garudas. We didn't see those on Reven's side, probably because we didn't stay on those floors long enough, and that could make a big difference if there's an egg on these floors. Garudas are so broken, it's not even funny. Ah, speaking of an egg, but on the opposite of the side we were talking about. So that could be a block, which would be a pretty good thing to have. Oh yeah, that's a good point. I always forget that fact about eggs, but that is the way it works generally, is that there is a sad limit. So the early Garudas won't help Czaj that much, but I think staying and exploring probably might. Or at least have a better chance of that than normal. We see Czaj having created some distance away from those unfortunate house guests, let's call them. Egg could be a clown, and that would be another really good one. This early egg has some pretty decent promise to it. And I guess there's a zoo. But that's not as useful as it is annoying to fight. It's one of those monsters that you'd like to be a better friend than an enemy, but it's mostly just a worse enemy than it is a good friend. Paralysis immune is an advantage, and with each monster having its own set of useful traits, I probably wouldn't go out of my way to hatch it, but if I'm hatching it in the hopes of a clown or a block and I get one, well, it's there. It exists. It's a thing. And there's that barong. Czaj will continue playing the slot machine until the inventory is full of things too valuable, and it looks like that steel shield unfortunately cursed, so Reven will have the dopey cursed sprite the whole time. Which, really not the most cursed sprite in the game. That honor probably goes to the Japanese Angel, I think we would all agree. Which at least looks like it should belong in the game's universe, but on the other hand, is terrible. And if you are interested in seeing the Cursed Japanese Angel or anything else about this fun game, we do have a Discord that is home to this tournament and other community events, and I would seriously recommend checking it out if you have any interest in following the tournament, having a good time, and palling around. Yeah, Czaj occasionally gets a little too invested in seeing what the barong might have in store. I think though in this case, while it might be a little bit of an early time loss, it's hard to say, like, a good inventory isn't good. And that could ultimately result in a better run for Czaj in the long run. Though also, there comes a point, Czaj. You could throw the steel sword instead of the coin, Czaj. It's not doing you any favors, Czaj, having the sword. Oh well. Who am I to judge? Bots aside, let's see. Now, if I were Czaj, what would I be? I mean, this is a bad room. This is a room I would not want to be in if I were Reven. The Ifrit is pretty tough. The Ashra is the scariest thing on legs. It might be time to use a Holy Bell. You have one. Because those things hit like a pile of trucks, duct taped together and attached to the top of another truck, and oh, Czaj. Let it go, Czaj. I know it's hard, but I believe in you, Czaj. Honestly, I'd be tempted to keep an extra wind crystal just in case, but I can also see the argument. Most of these tournaments are kind of decided, or most of this tournament has been decided by how many re-entries. If he gets a Roche, it will be all worth it, sure. But unlike in the regular tower where barongs are a rare occurrence, here they are a common one. If Czaj does not eventually decide he's had enough, he will not leave until the earthquake starts. Not the same scroll as his other scroll. Now that he knows that, it's a question of what does this scroll do? And can it be used to deal with the Ashra? Or escape the Ashra? Looks like Czaj is moving onward, and will hopefully be able to catch on back up with a pretty good inventory, I will say, especially if he finds a sea seed or, well, he does have the Palumpa egg if he really wants to, and water strats are still pretty good even in the second tower, where even though what monsters you are most likely to encounter are different, and at the very least, Reven having to use the Palumpa as an egg bomb to get that out of the thing. Yep, that is the unfortunate thing about testing scrolls. Sometimes you check something that could be very useful. Please, what an But anyway, if Czaj uses that Palumpa egg for water strats, it could turn out to his advantage. Even if you don't control what monsters are around in the same way that you can predict for the regular tower, most of the scariest monsters you're going to fight are fire or water. Yeah, that's a good point. He will at least be able to get another shot at finding out what it is because he changed the name. Assuming he gets another shot at finding out what it is. He could not. The tower giveth, and the tower taketh, and taketh, and taketh. Also, Czaj did get from all of the sundry Barong slots a mirror shield, which is one of the best shields in the game. I know it is Shawnee's favorite. Right, and got it with the assurance of not being cursed. Mirror and Leather have different abilities to avoid bad situations. In Leather Shield, it's a case of direct attack damage. In the Mirror Shield's case, it is reflecting spells, which cover a few damaging situations and a few non-damaging situations. And there's that Holy Scroll, getting one of those Ashras on side, but this, it's a spooky floor when you've got Ashras to deal with. And Czaj is now off on his lonesome. Time to see if, yes, that was a familiar bell. I guess that makes sense. There are only 3 bells, and that was the one unidentified bell. Yay, more Ashras. I'm sure that must be so exciting for Reven. Well, if he finds an egg, it will be very exciting for him. Then I think. Griffins are also not a terrible find. Yeah. Familiar Bell is the only 3-heart bell, but in this case, there's also the process of elimination. Czaj has had both a familiar, both a malicious and a holy bell. There aren't too many options there. In the meanwhile, Griffins, probably a little bit scarier. There is finding that same egg. Now that Czaj no longer has the allure of the Barong slot machines going on. He is beginning to pick up the pace. We will see how well this does at catching up. The gap has closed a fair bit compared to earlier. So, actually, while I am thinking about it, because I was just checking Reven's floor count on the handy state display. This is one of the ways in which the experience we're presenting for you at this tournament is not in the vanilla game. While the second tower and all of its strangeness is vanilla, well, we do have a handy dandy tool developed by Czaj to display things like inventory and coast status and what the highest floor count reached in total is. And that is very handy for us at home as well as for the runners. And that is such a cool little tool. It doesn't give any information you could not give by checking it, but it does save you the need to check it and the need to remember what floor people have reached. I can't. Redogs are not the most formidable thing one can find, so that is an advantage. They are not too much out of the common way, though one does notice, I think this is where I start to notice at the very least, that the monster's level scaling is much faster than on the standard. And so what is a pretty reasonable level in the context of the first tower is here starting to fall behind a little bit relative to everything around you. But Co is always going to be the weakest available thing. Okay, we did get that egg looked at. It is a block A. That is good. We'll see if Czaj decides to take advantage of it or not. He might not want to spend the time on it if he does not have to. Though with a water crystal, I think the incentive to hatch it and fuse it in is actually pretty high. I still think maybe if you have done as much gachapawning, maybe you don't want to take the time investment elsewhere. But the ability to identify that egg is a strong one to have gained out of all of this. Reven deciding, I suppose, to fight the flame. Or at least realizing midway through an action it's gonna be. Yeah, that is a good point. The block fusion is a bit tricky if he wants to go water later on, and that would close off the option of doing that through fusion, because fusions take the element that wins in the elemental triangle. Well, so to get to water via fusion, you need your monster to be fire. Also, don't know what's happening on Reven's side, but we'll probably find out in a moment. And in the meanwhile, I will switch us over to Czaj's audio on the grounds that we know what's happening with it. Oh, never mind, it's back. It heard I was preparing to do a thing, and decided that no need to worry about that. It has this all under control. Okay, that is at least identifying the Holy Scroll, though probably not in the way that would make Czaj most happy. Also, deaths. One of the things that the second tower does with its monster randomization is pull up things you would not normally see. Deaths are the evolved form of clowns. And so don't spawn in the normal tower, and that's a neat little feature. Looks like we've got a wind seed, which is not the seed I think Czaj was hoping for. Actually, come to that, I think we saw that same wind seed on Reven's side, and it remains a little bit disappointing. At this point, they have settled into a fairly consistent, roughly 4-floor gap between them. Looks like we now have an identification. Okay, that is a good thing to know. That blinder ball can be very useful in terms of avoiding fights. Ooh, that's unfortunate. So unfortunate. Reven just eating all of the herbs you don't want. And there, problem is solved. That happened in just the perfect order for Reven. Also, worth noting, temporarily removed his curse status. It will come back, I believe, because I don't think that decurse scroll has been done. Also, Czaj very nearly got the septic special. This is not a great situation to have been paralyzed during, so now it's time to figure out what can Czaj do about this. The Griffin might have saved him. Either way, at this point, he's gonna have to think of a way. I think Kuhn might just be a lost cause in this particular set of circumstances. Yep, and now it's time to figure out what to do. If there's anything that can be done here. Well, there is the restore scroll, if Czaj can get the breathing room to make use of it. Which more or less involves getting out. Yeah, Blockade Bomb has a pretty good chance of solving the problem, if that's the way he wants to play it. And it looks like it is. With any luck, this should fix the problem. Yep, that solved the problem. Now can use the restore scroll, get back Kuhn. Sacrificing the block is probably not the favorite. Oh, hey, maximums. That's unfortunate. Luckily, he is able to find out that they're there without having to fight this one immediately. There it comes. Also, yeesh, that is so much damage. Maximums are pretty buff. Not sure that's what I would necessarily go with there, because that's just putting off the problem for a turn. When it deals half of your health, that's a significant issue. Fireball does put it underway, but Kuhn's still missing the HP for it, but it'll all work out probably. Still a fair number of resources to burn on a single fight, but that's kind of just how the second tower can be sometimes. If Maximum says you're gonna fight, you're gonna have to fight. Or hopefully outpace it at the slow rate of one a turn, which isn't ideal. Ah, that could be interesting. Meanwhile, Reven encountering Shawnee's favorite monster of the ticket, which are a little bit of a nuisance, but not terrible once you are adequately prepared for them. And they're cute. That's unfortunate on Chai's side. Hopefully not a significant problem, but Chai is going out into hallways because in a room, Kyun might decide to defend Mafrog's honor. And that does not go well. You know, in the second tower, Kyun maybe should think less about honor and more about getting away, and oof, walking right into a kid. That is unfortunate. I am a little bit curious about what Chai's longer-term plan for this might be, if there is one. Chai does seem to be thinking about exactly what that long-term plan, and by long-term I mean, like, do you fight the kid? That's gonna be tricky. Can you get the damage you need from something? Looks like between the fireball and Kyun, that is good enough to take out the kid. Though, now I'm trying to think about how many charges of that fireball we have seen. I suspect it's running a little lower than might be comforting. Well, that was just the... Well, I guess that was probably the item that was deliberately set up to be stolen by standing on it. Try and pick a slot in your inventory to steal from based on, like, a dice roll, more or less. However, if you're standing on something, it will decide that that's more important than... Ooh, an egg before we know what's on this floor. That's kind of fun. It's a mystery box. Is this exciting? Is it not? Reven was planning on exploring, but nope. Tower says no, you won't get to find out what's on that floor directly. It could be a dreamin', which isn't ideal. Looks like Cha is giving a little bit... was checking a little bit more detail about what that spell ball actually contains, and if it was a useful one. And oh, there's the reflect coming in handy right away. Nicely done. Looks like Chai is trying to get in a good fight in against the wee dog. No, now that he's cleared off the block. And that's pretty doable, though. Doing so in a corner with a height disadvantage is always a little bit unfortunate. What is Reven thinking about here? Well, whatever that decision was, it was not the perfect one. You know, we're seeing a lot of that particular delaying strategy today. But it is but it is turning out good, I would say pretty good results in terms of avoiding fights or surviving them. So I do not mind. So that is a neat thing to see. I think it's unlikely that Reven will try checking that egg directly. If he saw something particularly good, but even then he does not know if that's new to this floor. All we know is could be a dream-in. And there is that maximum again. The floor gap between them has now stayed pretty consistent for a while, I would say, without a whole lot of changing position. Oh, looks like Czaj is going to hatch the Palumpa egg, I think. Czaj must have decided that Kyun is at the level where he stops necessarily... that is a problem. But stops necessarily gaining a whole lot of like, flame sword, water sword, mixture magic bonuses. Okay, there we go. From gaining more levels, and we'll just try and get that done. Oh. That is a handy one, but he does not know it's a block egg, which is the unfortunate bit. We know it. But MMO, he'll be able to restore Kyun's defenses, and therefore keep the double defense trait useful. But not immediately. Czaj. Okay. That's a thing. Okay, I think I see. Yeah, I see it. That is... Hello! Oh, Zaxorn. We are having a second tower race. We are about 40 minutes in. There is a fairly consistent 4-floor gap between our runners, which is well within the margin of things happening. Second tower! And that is why Czaj is fighting a maximum on floor 14, because there is a secret tower hidden in the game. You can check it out on the state displays down at the bottom. Each runner has their floor number under their name. Their name on the state display, the number of tower entries, and the highest floor they have reached. All of which is provided by the handy tool that Czaj made, which allows one to get a quick grasp of the inventory. These at a glance. One of the eggs in Reven's inventory is a block egg, which we know, and Czaj knew, but Reven does not. Found that very early on and has not taken the opportunity to look at it. Oh, very cool, very cool. Okay, so is this one of those is this the floor near the floor, I suppose, where we found that, where Reven found that egg? I do not remember what floor it was on, only that I don't remember seeing the universe, so it could have been one of the floors that Reven finished off very quickly. Oh wait, yeah, we were just distracted by the maximums. Okay, fair enough. Maximums, very distracting. What with being terrifying. And oh, well, Reven now knows that Czaj is going to spend like 15 minutes on this floor. So any amount of time he cares to spend will probably be less. That's an interesting one. That would be a new game plus, wouldn't it? And if you can control what you enter the tower with, I mean. Which is a fun little category that we don't see least ever, actually, now that I think about it. But if you would like to know more about that or any other of our fun categories, including earthquake percent, Palumpa percent, curry percent, or other nonsenses, be sure to check out our Discord. Also, oops, some herbs, maybe there are circumstances where you might not want to test all herbs by eating them directly. Interesting that Czaj is holding on to the truth glasses as opposed to checking some of the spell balls. But that might end up paying dividends later on, when we see what that egg is. Oh. A funny bit of synchronicity on which both runners on different floors have collar jack Palumpas hanging about. Mules are pretty worrying to see, I would say, at this point. The level scaling means it's so much harder to keep out of the range of their HP changing up. Or their healing, there we go, that's the word I'm looking for. But it could be worse, they could be Batnals, which are terrifying. But also, now Reven has made that maximum much worse to deal with, by giving it the water element, essentially. Meaning that there's now nothing he can do about it, basically. He could blinder it, but I think, yeah, blinder. I'd just blinder. But, oh, he gave it reflect, that's worse. That's worse. That explains the lack of blindering and the, okay, let's just let it get distracted and wander off into the corridor. Comes for you, Czaj. Death comes for you! With luck, of course it does. Oh! There's that mirror shield coming in clutch. Oh, the worst crystal, I see. Like, I am a big proponent of everything has its niche uses. But even under that stance, Fire Crystal, Worst Crystal. It has a value. It can do a thing on occasion, though in the second tower, it's more or less just a waste of time. Its stats do not scale. And that means that it is as good as it's gonna get pretty much the instant you get it, and its value only goes down. And here it goes down real fast. It is just a sad, sad thing. Also, Chai giving us a little bit of a slide show. This might be an emulator side issue, or it might be a stream side issue. I am not sure which. Earlier, Chai was having a little bit of of emulator issues. But if you're in a relatively safe place. Oh yeah, the timer, that's a good point. Yeah, I will check and see if there is anything I should be aware of on that front. So far, no. So we will see. Yeah, hopefully that comes back in short order. Also, this would be a great place for a barong to spit out a roche fruit. It's not... There we go. Back online. Things are good. And now the question is, if one wants to play with the barong, how does one do that and deal with that Ashra at the same time? Or that Arachne at the same time. Unfortunately, not like that. Kuhn does sometimes do that. It's why he is at once your most reliable and indeed only friend, and also your least reliable and most disappointing friend. Now I'm thinking... Yeah, the play was otherwise pretty good until the Arachne got a free hit. There, it was just a dreamin'. All that hope and speculation for nothing. But at least now we know. Nope, not the spell one would have wanted. Though it can come in pretty handy at times. Particularly if you let Kuhn do a lot of the fighting, then it can help, at least a bit. True, Dreamin' Egg is still great familiar food. Eggs are pita fruits, but better for the most part. Oh no. That might be an issue, but, yeah, well, we'll see. Hello, friends! Little baby Palimpa party. Kim. Now Chai might be thinking about the block. That couldn't be. Oh, Jarapita, that is one of the nice finds that you more or less only find in Morongs or the second tower. That is a slightly better Olim, I would say. It's one monster you get rid of, but you get to keep the body to beat up for experience, or use to block off hallways, or so on. Reven might have been waiting for HP or Barong, but an Arachne, not the thing waiting for. Okay, we know it is a restore scroll. That is a handy thing to have properly documented, which means, yes, it had that A. He did throw a restore scroll at an Arash earlier. Unfortunate. Still, he ended up not needing it until he found another one, so... sometimes that's just Azure Dreams for you. I will get out of home movies, vacation photos soon. But yes, Reven's side is running into the lack of Elemental Wand being a pretty significant issue. Monsters are now really outpacing Reven's ability to fight them directly. The level curve is so steep that just normal leveling up isn't gonna cut it. And unfortunately, hey, there's an Elemental Wand that does not do the job. It is worth noting that on Chai's side, we do have the Palumpa, the egg, if Chai wants to swap to water, and like, that strikes me as the best option available, but not one he has taken so far. And yes. Now we're gonna be here a while. Come back! Why don't you love him? He loves you! He loves you so much, Mr. Barong! Barongs are kind of charming. It's the face. They have that, like, lion dog face. It's very cute. Meanwhile, Reven thinking about, like, well, if I just wait here, can I just, you know, not deal with the troll? Can the troll give up and go home? Alas, it does not. Needed a second or two more of waiting. Guy appears to be a little bit stuck. I'm guessing a crack trap, which is a little bit unpleasant, but also, oh, that is a trap room. And also, be careful, Chai. There we go. Now he has everything he wants. A barong to play with, a go-up trap to get out when he's done playing with the barong. Everything a Chai could need. Our castle is pretty good. Speaking of, how is Reven? Okay, Reven is doing fine in terms of the MP. That is one of the advantages of Kuhn, is having a decent chunk of MP. Pretty handy. Oh. Well, at least you know. At least you know. And who knows, maybe you'll find a sand someday. A sand knight? No, we have one of those at home. Alright, now is Chai going to continue exploring this floor. Possibly for more barongs. Probably. And like, if he's feeling confident against the monsters here, I don't see why not, for that matter. Except, of course, that time. And there is the stream wand. Or a stream wand for Reven's side. He just has to figure out how he's going to get it, because I'm pretty sure he's used the Palumpa. We know that neither of those eggs are going to help him accomplish that goal. So he will be on the lookout for any seed which might be a sea seed. Oh, he is looking to hatch that egg and hopefully find himself a suitable fusion fodder. Unfortunately, these aren't it. But he will at least see the block, I think? Yeah, he does no longer have the Shomaru herb or any water crystals. That is a little unfortunate. He at least will be able to identify if he finds another one. That's something. It's not nothing. He is using the intersection to strategically avoid fights, because monsters will always take the left-hand turns at intersections. Ooh, Czaj might have gotten a Roche. That would be very exciting. It's not, though. It is a sad friend. As we are now upon the hour mark, they still have 1 hour to make any re-exits or re-entries. They are on the same seed and they are on the same tower, so they have the same eggs, and that is how we know that Reven's eggs are just going to be a block and a dream-in, and that's going to be so disappointing because he is looking for a water crystal, for a water element monster to fuse into Q. There, Czaj is now going water strats, finally making use of that stream wand he got from the Marong ages ago. It was more or less one of the first things he got in the match, actually. We see Reven saying farewell to the Dreamin'. I might keep it for a source of emergency tile immunity glitch, but that is just me, and like, probably only as long as it could be useful. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Ying. A tile immunity glitch monster that, like, lets you also keep your fighting monster afterwards is not a bad thing to have when you're not using the inventory space for anything else. Oh, and there is another egg on Czaj's side. We did not see that one right away. I probably would not worry too much about sleep-proofing Kyun, I'm gonna be honest. Not when the options include a block, for example. But now Czaj must be feeling pretty confident about his ability to keep on fighting. But oh, it's just a Palumpa egg. That's so sad. That's so sad. But also, Reven would like that. I bet Reven kind of wishes he found that, but he didn't. Oh, a leather shield. Unfortunately, Reven's shield is still cursed, so not going to be able to take immediate advantage of that. As we come upon the hour mark, I'm going to remind you all to stay hydrated and very quickly go and grab another drink for myself. Oh, there is a decurse scroll Now that leather shield can come in handy, and we will have a shield versus shield head-to-head. Be right back. Right, we're back. Ah, what did I miss? Does not look like terribly much of note. Though, like, I am liking the look of Chai's inventory right now. Ah. Oh, not what Reven was hoping for. Reven's hoping to find a CC somewhere in this space. And the gap between the two of them has shrunk by about half, which is pretty exciting news and has a lot, I'm assuming, to do with the fact that Czaj is able to move around with a lot more ease because he has that same type attack bonus wand. And the ability to make use of it properly. That's also not going to help. Oh no. That's really not going to help. That is a misfortune of the highest order. Nope. Now what, Reven? Yeah, this seems like a good opportunity for a Holy Bell. Pillar Ball also does a pretty good job in this regard. Yeah, that is very true. I think the only danger would have been if he hadn't been able to get the pickup on the clown. But then he could always have used a Holy Bell then. and that is also the advantage, is that he's able to decide. He still has the Holy Bell. So Chai is really catching back up. That same type attack bonus on a wand is nothing to sneeze at, folks. Chai choosing to go with that leather shield, finding it's a pretty nice leather shield as these things go. Also, in not being cursed, if he sees, for example, blocks wandering around and he wants the mirror shield, it's still there. Was that egg on a Kraken floor? I don't think so. But maybe I'm mistaken. Oh, okay then. Fair enough. So it's very funny seeing Krakens on what looks like floor 3 or 2. Kraken, Clowner, Glacier, those are good odds. I like those odds. I mean, worst comes to the worst thing you can possibly get is a clown. And that's, you know, nothing to sneeze at. Oh, that egg. Yeah, that egg is a Glacier. Now we know. I was thinking, I guess, about a different egg. Specifically, I think I was thinking about... No, actually, I don't know what I was thinking about. I was thinking about a different egg, I think. Some unknown egg. Lost in the mists of time. Reven can get the water elemental when he can get it. Meanwhile, Chai... and he has caught up, and Reven is just barely keeping his lead. And he is probably better off hatching that egg. Okay, we know he is definitely better off hatching that egg. It is a small time investment for what is probably going to keep him in the game. And also, ooh, that's a room you don't want to go into directly. It is not a friendly chamber. Not a chamber of joy. No, we haven't seen a lot of this tower. We haven't seen a lot of stealths yet. Sometimes the second tower gets oddly picky about what it is choosing to give you. Either way, Reven really does need to get his water elemental going. But that's going to involve taking a little bit of time, and he might not feel comfortable doing that. He doesn't know where Chai is relative to him, but... and he knows that Chai is a fantastic runner, as they both are. Chai getting up onto this... No, is that... nope, still same floor, okay. But he could very well pull ahead in the next minute or two if he makes the right couple of decisions and, for example, decides, I'm water elemental, I can deal with this room. Okay, Reven barely holding on to his lead while Chai takes a moment to think about whether or not what he can take. Because this is a little bit spooky. A tad spooks. Oops. One on their own with AI1 and a Water Elemental Cune reasonable to fight. Multiple is a lot trickier. Also, Holy Belling that dragon, he's really hoping, but no, it's just not that useful, unfortunately. No, that's not pleasant. That's bad, in fact. Science, I have consulted the science, I have checked my readings. Bad. Yeah, those holy bells are running out, but also, oh my goodness, that is so unpleasant. Yeah, the kite strat is great. I don't think I'd really seen it before this match, but it is really paying off and very fun to see. Oh yeah, this is less than ideal. This is a rough floor. This is a rough floor. And it's not going to necessarily be a walk in the park for Chai, but it is a little bit easier. Nothing is liftable, everything hits like a truck. You have multiple elements to deal with, of which the golem is probably the easiest because they do have a fair number of spell ball charges between the two of them. Ooh, there's the wind up. And it's a strike. Yep. Reven will probably continue putting any seed he finds directly into Kuhn's mouth, but yeah, if the golem didn't, Kuhn would be out of there. Luckily, there is a restore scroll on Reven's side still. Oh, Reven choosing to pillar to get out of the tower, wind crystal out. He is about to find out about the glacier egg that he has. As he was deciding, no, he can go at this faster another time with better fortune. He'll be glad about the glacier egg. He will presumably take it with him. But also, that's gotta sting. I is now in the lead. And it is now going to be a pretty sizable lead. We do allow re-entries up until the second hour was over. And so, here we are. Oh, that's an interesting approach on Chai's side. Yeah, I see what Reven was thinking, I see what Reven was feeling. I am also not confident. Oh, he's putting the glacier up? That's so interesting. I'm not sure. Yeah. That's like, at least bring the glacier out and fuse it into Kuhn. Bring the glacier out and fuse it into Kuhn. That's such a weird decision, and I don't approve. I don't like it. He did not know it was a glacier, that is the truth. He is finding out only now, too late. But he also did not really try to find that out. Okay, now he is getting out the glacier, presumably, to bring with him. Glacier abilities can get you out of tight spot, but so can water element. Particularly when you have a stream wand. Okay, he's not. What are you thinking about, Reven? what are you trying to decide on? I would probably, if you have a stream wand, you get out the glacier egg. That is my take. You have a problem, and that problem has a solution, and you have that solution. I don't think this is the right decision. I'm not sure Reven thinks this is the right decision either. Though that felt like the slow deliberation of a person wondering, is this the right call? I think it is not a great call, but he's just going to have to hope he finds another identified water egg or a sea seed or something. But he has no particular assurance of finding that, and I think that's... I'm just not sure a 2-use pillar ball is quite as good. Kuhn is strong, that will help, it's not impossible, but neither of them are things you know before you find them, and I think just having the identification is worth something in this instance. You know what the egg is, you know what you get, you know Kuhn will be fine. I also just would not leave this floor until I found a troll and beaten its face in. Yeah, same. Leather shield is so much easier, I think. Also, could have done the Glacier Fusion in a dad run. That is another good option if you wanted to bring all those things in together. Yeah. I think that this was probably not the greatest of series of decisions, but who knows? Maybe something will ultimately happen that vindicates him. But, I mean, he wouldn't even need to use the wind crystal specifically to fuse. He could just go in, hatch the egg, have Kuhn beat his face in, be taken back out, and, like, just gone in with no inventory, and kept it all in the safe and gotten it back up. Meanwhile, Chai using some egg strats to get that viper out of his hair. There's a lot of ways that could have done, and I'm not sure that this was the best or easiest. Also, that's a thing. Looks like Chai is not the only one with strain things. It is an unusual feature specific to this format, but also, it's available. It's available technically in anyone's format, but not for tournament purposes for the most part. So, Reven is kind of showing off one of the weird features of the second tower as it occurs in the game as it shipped, basically. Or at least as it occurred in the game as it shipped, plus a GameShark code, effectively speaking, to allow one access to strip the wallpaper off the door, or so that we can see it. Ooh, egg. I don't think Chai is gonna hatch it, but it is fun to think about. And oh hey, barongs! More barongs. So that's a minute. Oh, hey! The barong has woken up as we move to another vacation photo. My time in Monspire. Yeah, this summer. Yeah, the second tower is such a wild thing to have just around. Here we go! There is an entire dummied out extra set of procedural generations with slightly different rules, rarity ratings, and suddenly a lot of weird design decisions suddenly make sense. But also, as we can see... Oh, that's not pleasant on Chai's side. Yes, the cure bell. It's not a perfectly programmed thing. And therefore... With any luck, those are truth glasses, and Reven can use that to identify the egg, and hopefully it is something that he will find useful. It doesn't really look like there are that many water options on this floor, though, but, like, Baron could be interesting. Yeah, this is a pretty reasonable decision from Chai there. Best be a little bit careful when dealing with the doorways and whether or not the golem can wind up and punch you from across the room. A thing it can absolutely do at any time. Or at least any time you're in a direct straight line. Also, stealths! I finally got my wish of seeing some stealths. Or not seeing some stealths as appropriate. Anyway, this is his time. This is the photo of when they went to the museum. Oh, those are star glasses? Fair enough then. Also, yeah, those sabers are pretty good reason to proceed with caution. Also, more wrong. Oh, that's pretty handy. That could be very much what the doctor ordered. But we don't know. I'd probably toss the sand. And this way if I was... Oh, there is in fact a copper coin in the corner. Or that'll do the trick. Yep, and there's a new... Well, okay, he actually kept the leather shield. Unfortunately, because he just got another one. Now it's time to check what those herbs are, what those fruits are. Big Pita's pretty good, though. Meal lamb is an unfortunate one. One of the few really good fruits that does not get it brought back into your inventory when you use them. Now, it looks like that is the sort of sand one would want most, I would say. Also, Chai has some temptation, but also, like, yeah, Chai is far enough ahead that it's fair enough to want to resupply. That is sadly not a C-seed. The tragedy. going to carry that around with him for a while. Honestly, even with the level adjustments, tyrants are probably one of the easier, more comfortable things to find on floor 38. Sure, they're stronger than regular tyrants, but they're still within reason, particularly for a water Cune with a stream wand. Oh. Poor Barong. Didn't even cushion Ko's head. Yeah, having an identifying slow seed is not a bad thing to toss at an enemy you would like to be less fast. Also, oh wow, this is sure a room. This is a room. I hate that. Yeah. Yeah, no. Like, luckily, Cune is at a level where it's all very manageable. Also, Chai is in the fortunate position of having really the space to indulge in every barong. He doesn't know that's the case, but we know. Yeah, he is sticking with this run, which is fair enough, honestly. He's only got a half hour left in which he could change his mind, even if he wanted to. And certainly, we're going to be... Yep, another Leolam next to a Barong. It is a sad, sad world out there, folks. He is getting one more throw in. And it was pretty worth it, honestly. Yeah, Rev is getting a lot of items identified, but also has not nearly as much freedom to burn time. He needs to be really putting on the speed. And we have yet to see him entirely do that, as might be to his benefit. What floor... Or did he get that deep blue egg? I want to say it was very early on, even by the standards of floor 7. So yeah, 4 sounds about right. Sadly, just a pita fruit. Fruit hopes eternal. No, I don't know what I was just saying. It could be a barong egg. It could be a lot of things. Well, actually, Barong Egg is probably the best option available of the set. But that's still a pretty interesting set. It's a volcano's butt. It looks like an orange. Alas. There's just a decurse scroll. Still, Reven would need something like a Garuda egg to make this really recoverable. Garuda egg, or for something very bad to happen to Chai. Ooh, that's a sweet burb, isn't it? I did not get a good count, so maybe it wasn't. While, like, the timing, the amount of time left is a good time. He's going to have to clear floors faster than Chai can, basically. And while Kyun is a pretty high level, that only gets him so far. Oof, end with Kyun in a doorway. That could have been scary. Barang? That feels like it should be the name of, like, a band or something. To be specific, it feels like the name of a band that should be the name of a JoJo character. At the very least, the tower has been very helpful to Reven in giving Chai all of these barongs to play with. Oh, Batnals, those are unpleasant. Like, Kyun is still high enough level because this is a low enough floor for that to be very manageable. Yeah. Chai having slow seed problems. Less... That is a slightly funny one to have run into accidentally. But also, love that use of throwing the barong at things. There is an item for just about every bad thing that could conceivably happen to you. For the purpose of the second tower, probably. Oh, is this the... Nope. More slow seed problems. Now in Griffin flavor. Luckily, Kyun. Ooh. That is some good stuff. Let's see if the egg looks like it could be anything of interest. Reven would be thrilled if only he were still in that tower, because it could be... Oh, I see! It could be a barong! I wonder if Czaj will hatch it so that he can have his own slot machine. His own pet slot machine. And yeah, at other stages... Oh, he just used it to fumble the Viper. I see. Thank you for that clarification. I had lost track of it. You know, that is kind of a medicinal ball when you think about it. That'll come in particularly handy for Reven because Kuhn is his main weapon. Oh. Really? Could be interesting. They have sort of been trading off who is having mysterious stream struggles. There we go. Got that sentence down properly. Now it is Czaj's turn once again, and there we go. With his collection of tired slot machines. This is, technically, I think at a certain point, this will qualify as being something bad happening to Czaj. We're not at that point yet. Also, Reven going to go hatch an egg. See what that is. I would say that we're not at the point where this qualifies as something bad happening to Czaj. But as long as there are barongs, it remains within the realm of possibility that it could. And that is a Kraken. Okay. Reven can be now in business. Let us see if this can help make up for not bringing in this glacier. I'm finally leaving behind the casino. Round, whatever round. Ah. And it follows him still. Also, welcome to floors that men were not made to know. So, the second tower's specialty. The wrong egg, okay. That's a fun little thing to have found. Don't know that we'll see it. I don't know if that's something Reven feels he necessarily has the time for, but it is funny to know it's there. It would make Chai very happy. It would probably make Reven very happy if Chai was that happy. Because there's still 30 floors between them at this point. And therefore, every second that Chai can spend doing something that might not be productive is a good time for Reven. Oh, of course, of course. Immediately after he gets a water cune, he finds a scarlet wand. There's something deeply funny and deeply sad, and also, those noises are very scary now. Noises have some mad offensive growths that, like, well, they should really get a doctor to look at it if they've got strange growths, but point is, that make them the lethal joke thing in the second tower. There's something vaguely cheering about that. That is a fun feature of the randomizer, as well is the ability to do things like that. Fun little side notes. Honestly, at this point, everything is probably a little bit scary on Chai's side, because everything is something that he was not made to be encountering. A fact which is only going to get more dramatic as it continues. Also, oh, that's awkward. That is an awkwardly placed cune there. But traps are always that way, and one of the things about the second tower that spooks me, like, profoundly, is how, because almost everything is a gold coin, and there are so many gold coins, there's so many chances that something might be a Manueva just waiting behind every corner to destroy you. Also, ooh, white sand. Nice. This is not an ideal room situation. Okay, that's made it a little bit better, but first things first, let's get rid of the noise. Remove the noise, stop the funk, stop the music. Like, we're the town from Footloose now, we want no noise. That is a nice little find there. inventory is pretty awesome, I gotta say. What does he think he has enough of? I would probably not do that. Yeah, that's nothing. That no longer is a number with meaning. Burn, baby, burn. Yes, the noise does belong in the Disco Inferno. We are quickly coming up on the 2-hour mark, the point of no return, and floor 47 on Chai's side. I'm going to very briefly take a break, use the restroom before we get to the point where things could happen. Specifically where re-entries would no longer be allowed and anything that happens to Reven could end the map. In the blink of an eye. I'm back. Reven is making fairly good time, but yeah, that's still gonna be an obstacle in terms of catching up at anything like an achievable pace. So, Hank. At this point, I'm not sure that there's really anything worth slowing down for, particularly on this floor, which does not seem to have too terribly much of interest. But I do always think about eggs as exciting. It is a deep primordial... Oh dear, that's unfortunate. Look at all those gold coins, all those worthless gold coins. There Reven goes. We will never know what that fruit was. It was probably a roche. It was probably not a roche. Yeah, okay, this is sure a rum. This is a rum. Yeah, that seems reasonable. While between the spell balls and the mixture magic, everything individually in this room is pretty fightable. I think trying to fight all of them simultaneously would be challenging. That's an impressive amount of damage for being nothing. Like, that is an impressive amount of damage to mean so very little. That is a handy thing to have visible. And these inventories are still pretty great. Hey, this is not as bad a room. Could still be unpleasant, but not nearly as much so as previously. And we will see what happens when we move to the next vacation slide. Next time on Dragon Ball Z. Is that the one I went to? Well, anyway. Reven's made, I would say, some pretty decent time, but it's still 30 floors just to make up here. And that's less than ideal. Doable, but the longer Chai lives, the less doable things become pretty much. Right. Well, while we wait for Chai's audio to come back, because this is sometimes useful. Oh, no, never mind. Okay, that always happens when I go to switch audios. This is clearly a magic spell that I need to be using. I am a witch, my powers are just specifically that if I say that incantation and perform those somatic gestures, the stream will return to normal. Oh, we're seeing the glacier egg get used. Unfortunately, not enough to take out. That glacier, and Kyun stops it from being a safe curl. That's gotta hurt. Oh no, more curling! More curling. That's painful and bad. Yeah, this is... If it's gonna keep doing that, you probably need to just get away. Now the question is, what now? That's a spider, and it's coming right towards you. Okay, that is a good call. Now, I could try my incantation, but I don't know if it works if I'm already on the one that works. Also, we have crossed the 2-hour mark. This is the final climb for both runners now. Czaj still on his first climb, Reven on his second. And things could happen in an instant, which also makes it not a super great time for one of the screens to be frozen. Jarapita, that's not too bad. Yoon! I mean, Mom, needing to figure out how to avoid misfortune in this particular room. The elevator is right there, and it is therefore just a matter of getting out of trouble before something happens. But oh, wow. That is a lot. And that is pretty effective. Nope, that is not a blinder ball. Uh-oh. But that is occasionally the dilemma of the second tower, where it will just reuse your names that you've given things into the randomized name pool like that. Which is pretty rude of it, I gotta say. Ooh, that is one of the nicer things to find at this stage. As is, at this point, a fruit that has not been tried yet. Which is still a pretty good fruit. Unfortunately, Czaj did not actually pick that up and left it there. But that's pretty okay, actually. That is a good inventory. I would not trust any of those coins, but also they could not have been avoided. I'd really love to pick the brain of whatever dev decided that the second tower needed to have a redonkulous number of gold coins. That is one situation that can be gotten out of automatically if he wants, but like, again, this is a really strong inventory. Chai is living in a world where he can just, like, leave Oleems on the ground, and that is so unfair. I mean, if you can't take it with you, you might as well use it. It is a pretty handy item, in part because it forces most monster AI to use hallway AI as opposed to room AI, and hallway AI is noticeably, like, less good at spotting you. So this is a decent opportunity to cruise the floor looking for an egg. Yeah, that is just dealing no damage. Off elements are, like, less than ideal. I'm not sure if there's any particular... Oh! Really, he hasn't identified a health seed this climb. Funny that. By the way, since I don't think I've said this yet this stream, be sure to give our runners a follow. They are putting on a fantastic match today. Check out our Discord, which I have said. And check out me while you're at it. I'm here. Also, those blooms are mad tanky at this point. They do have a very high HP curve. It's not the highest because Napluses exist. But I think it's second or third. And so, those guys can fight 4 days. Yeah, as we can see, and like, oh wow, 70 damage. That is a lot of damage. That is, my first tower brain sees that and goes, bad, don't want, scary. I figures has the restore scrolls, so Kuhn's HP recovering might not be worth the time at this phase. Also, yeah, this is a little nuts. Interesting to pick up the okay, that makes sense. To carry the herb with, can throw it. Particularly, I think, waiting to see if there's, well, if there's a Garuda. I think that at this point, what you stop for is a Garuda. Yeah. Okay, this is a bit of an intersection. Now this one might be me because they're both doing it now. Okay, so I don't see any particular indication that it's me though. So maybe it's just that they're both doing it now, and I guess I didn't even get to say the words this time. Well, okay, the stream did not fix itself as such. So like I guess this nope. I once again did not actually even have to say the magic words. Fantastic. Honestly, they stand a reasonably good shot of, yeah, just losing that clown in the line of sight within the room. That was a wonderful use of that little delay tactic. My setup is at this point so good that, like, that inventory has not had to change in quite some time now. It's very impressive. Oh, it's a stealth! Surprise! 61 damage! Yeah, this would be a place for a spell ball, I think. Or a holy scroll if that's what you want, but like I'm not as confident that that's what I would do. And here we see Chai's vacation photos of the land of the squished menu. You know, they hand squish their menus. You don't find that sort of menu squishing through a machine. That is artisanal menu squishing. His choice to use the flat scroll there is interesting. Probably it does help with the stealth situation. That's fair enough. If a stealth cannot see you, they can't deal 60-something hit points of damage simultaneously. Yeah, unfortunately, the size of Chai's lead has not really changed in a substantive way, despite... Huh, that's funky. I've seen Tyrants do that in rooms. I don't think I've seen them do that in hallways before. Odd. Oh well. Yeah. Unfortunately for Reven, thus far, Chai's lead has not diminished. Oh, Ice Rock, that's not too bad. But and floor 66. Thanks, which is really impressive. Yeah, this would probably just be a place where I, like, say, use one of my items. We see here on Reven's side a wonderful example on this slide of the Garunian neo-Gothic architecture style. In other words, I say mean much of anything. Well, okay. And yeah, they have kept a pretty even pace, which is unfortunate for Reven. Reven would really like the paces to be significantly less even. I would like Reven's internet to be significantly less, whatever that is. Let's see, what can we say about this one? This is when Reven went orange picking. As you can see, some of the oranges turn out to not be oranges, but instead little monsters that inexplicably have the bodies of navel oranges. Oh, it's nice to get the advance notice that the Manaweavas are there before being surprised by one in the shape of a coin. Let sleeping krakens lie. That is, I think, the best policy available. Oh, that was lucky. It's not a terrible thing to have. Not the most thrilling, but not terrible. Okay. These mandaras are, particularly with a water cune, pretty manageable for this floor. And I've got to say, the tower has gotten a little bit less terrifying in the last couple of floors. In the last 10 or so floors, we haven't seen a lot of, oh dear, that's trouble, monsters. More on Chai's side. Though Reven hasn't had a whole lot of serious problems either, and both of their inventories and setups are absolutely stacked. Is there anything particularly interesting that could still be at this point? We will find out, presumably. Honestly, with restore scrolls... Ooh, egg. Egg, and we don't know what's on this floor, which means it could be something interesting. Or maybe I was misseeing another thing that has a flash of gray like a shield. Or maybe Chai's just decided not to worry unless he actually sees a Gerudo, which is fair enough. Now they're both having simultaneous internet issues, so let me see if maybe... Oh. No. Let me see if maybe switching audios will temporarily fix the problem, and then... Oh wow, there we go, okay. That's something. And now maybe if I try switching back? Probably not, but we'll see. Nope. So I will switch audio to the runner whose screen is moving at the moment. We're coming up on the last half hour, and odds of this turning around for Reven are decreasing pretty solidly. A floor a minute is certainly achievable. The problem is that neither of them shows signs of slowing down. So it ultimately might not really matter all that much. On the other hand, it is fun to get to floor 40, think to yourself, oh, where's Beldo? And then think, oof. That's a big chunk of damage, but it could be worse. I do love that particular sound on the soundtrack. It's a jam. Nerve-wracking, but a jam. Ended up working out very nicely. By the way, I do not know where the spreadsheet of this tournament's records might be located. But now I'm curious about... Okay, thank you. I have found it. We have seen, effectively, a 99 clear, the last point at which the tower functions normally. But it would be pretty cool to see another one. Also, Garuda. Also, U-boats. Scary. Do not like them. Not friends. But also, it's wild that we have only seen the one. And, oh, there goes Reven. Then, down at a bad intersection. That is the match. Victory goes to Chai. GG to both the runners. I will be letting them know and getting them in for interviews. Okay. They will probably be getting in for interviews in a short little moment. But that was some really impressive running. Floor 76 as the winning point, and floor 40 on Reven's side in a... Hello, Reven!
Hey, how's it going?
Reven, GG! Good job.
Thank you. How much better did Chai do?
On floor 76 and no particular sign of stopping or being in trouble.
Yeah, that doesn't surprise me. He's been, he's usually my practice partner, and that's usually how our practices go. I'll either wind out or die in like the 20 to 40 range, and he'll do like a single climb into the 80s. So that's pretty much what I expected. GG, Chai.
Excellent running. I think, to start us off, I did have a question for Reven.
Okay.
What were you thinking in terms of what you brought into the second entry? Because we were both thinking it would be a really sensible decision for him to bring the glacier. He could, in fact, bring just the glacier egg and Kuhn and do a quick little dad run of that.
Yeah, and I did think about it, but I don't know. My thought process was that I was playing against Chai, and he usually wins by a landslide in our practice sessions. So I wanted to get as much of a head start as I could. So I tried to go as far as I could in the first climb, and that didn't work out. It was like 30 something. I don't remember. And I just wanted to get back in and get climbing again as fast as I could. So I debated bringing the wind crystal in. I debated bringing the glacier in, and ultimately I just said, well, this is gonna probably be my last climb anyway, or I'm gonna go in with nothing. So I'm just gonna make the best out of this one. I brought in my 2 spell balls, and the shield is streamlined, and I was really just hoping that I could get water Kuhn at some point really quick. When I was lucky enough to get that out of a Kraken egg at some fairly early on, so it worked out, and I had an abundance of items. It was just a stupid mistake. At the end there to the flame.
To everyone.
It was, the 1 in 8. It didn't want to attack the ice rock, so it is what it is.
That is thoughts on that seed Chai.
Hello. GG
Hello.
Reven. Thanks for the game.
Yeah, GG chat.
Well, it wasn't the worst seed. It wasn't the best seed. There were quite many resources, although not so much in the beginning. Luckily, the beginning was not so tough. I presume if Shoni was watching the game, he was immediately telling that, oh yeah, this is my seed. Barongs on floor 3. Chai's gambling addiction will show up. And it did show up a few
I
times, but I tried not to like go too far with it. So
Yeah,
yeah.
and in a couple of places, I would say it really made a significant difference. You got a stream wand before Revan did, and of particular note is that because you were able to keep the Palumpa egg, you switched to water, and that was around the point where you started gaining on Revan, overtook, and that was about when Revan wind crystalled out.
Oh, Reven Wind Crystal. Did you have to Wind Crystal, or was that a strategy?
I didn't have to, but it would have cost so many supplies that it would have basically taken everything I had to get out of it. So I just crystalled out and figured I'd start over again stronger.
Makes sense. There are quite many eggs in this
Sure.
entry, and I was lucky enough to have like plenty of truth glasses. I don't remember whether they were on the floor or whether I got many of them from Barong, but like that
Wrong.
saved me pretty much all of the hatchings that I didn't want to do, because the potential monsters that were in the eggs were really good ones like Naplas or Clown or even Arachne. But luckily, the glasses showed the truth that none of that was there. There was one that I was like sort of debating whether I should keep, and it was block, double defense. Probably you found that deck as well. In which,
Yeah, I hatched it and had every intention of fusing it, but I wanted to get water, or like out of a seed. Like I was trying to figure
yeah,
out how I could get the double defense and still be water in the
exactly.
situation that I was in. And I ended up winding out and forgetting to fuse it, so
Oh.
yeah, yeah.
But to be honest, like you, I was searching for that C seed, but it was not showing up. I even dedicated like truth glasses instead of like eggs, etc. I dedicated it to a seed. Unfortunately, fortunately, it was wind seed. So yeah, I had to like go to water with Palumpa, and I never found the C seed. I found quite many seeds, lots of lar seeds.
Neither of you ever found
Yeah.
Yep,
a
yep.
CC. It was kind of weird, honestly.
Yeah. Plenty of stream ones. I think I found 4 of them, but
Oh,
again, like
so many ones.
quite many of them were also from Barongs. Not a single Scarlet one. So I was debating, should I already go to water? Should I not? Because it was like around the time when it was getting a little bit tough. I got a life one from a Barong. I presume you got it as well because it was from the first floor Barong. So that was like working for quite a while, but like I think around floor 20, I was like, I guess it's time to go water. Especially that I started finding some spell balls with which I could handle wind monsters, because I'm always debating whether I should wait a bit until I have a way to deal with monsters, or like just go YOLO. But it all played out really nicely. And I really liked that pace because it was like what 228, and I was like floor 77, so that's really nice.
Yeah, that was a pretty fantastic pace. You were going kind of at about the same pace for pretty much the back half of the race. The difference was down to the wind crystalling out, which is such a big factor in this tournament.
Oh yeah, I presume you got the wind crystal from Gauche, right? Reven?
I will say yes.
Yeah, yeah. Like I also was like thinking, should I keep it? Should I keep it? I think around 1 hour 20 minutes, 1 hour 30 minutes mark, I had like so many good items in the inventory, so many barongs giving me even more good items. Like, okay, there is no point in keeping that wind crystal because I'm already packed. Let's dedicate this entry to till the end. So yeah, at that time I gave up and wind crystal. I was thinking, okay, that's one entry that's gonna be there, no more. I think Reven has a
That about
problem with
makes
the
up.
phone because I know that sometimes he does. And
Or
he's actually
internet, because both of you had some spotty patches where your timers would, where everything would sort of freeze up on
Okay.
one of your ends or the other. And I apparently have magic powers. I can fix your internet by going, maybe I should switch audio right now.
That's good magic power to have.
Yeah, it's pretty handy. Not
Please
the
fix my
best
internet
magic
every time
power.
it breaks.
Alright, I will do my utmost.
If I may ask, what floor Reven finished at?
40.
40, and I presume he died, right?
Yep.
Okay.
It was just a little bit of misfortune, just something. A flame that could have attacked an ice rock and didn't.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I had like one of those kind of uh-oh moments myself. I think it was around like floor 60 something, where, you've seen my inventory, so it was like pretty
Yeah.
packed. But like, what happens when you go to a stealth floors, right? When they're invisible, and
Right.
then stealth
And then
hits
they're
you.
dealing 60 damage all of a sudden. It's like,
Exactly.
what are you? You are
Stealth
not
hits
what. This
you.
is not my beautiful house. This is not my beautiful wife.
Stealth hits you, and then you suddenly like are attacked second time. So like, oh, there are two stealths around. So what do you do here? And yeah, that was like probably the scariest moments for me. Other than that, there was one. It was fairly early on where I decided to use was it block egg on Ashra. Yeah, that's when I got paralyzed with Griffin and Ashra around me. Puny died, and I had to somehow deal with this situation. So those two moments were the
It's a pretty
toughest
good
one.
one.
Yeah, those were the toughest. Other than that, I would say once you go water and have like plenty of resources, which I pretty much didn't have to use. I was able to like fight
Yeah.
almost everything. Then
Toon
yeah,
was
it was just
keeping
straightforward.
pace very well.
Oh yeah.
Well, through that final stretch of the climb. I think that is okay. Reven is having my shoes and dropping off. So unless there is anything else in particular, I think that about covers it.
Alrighty, thank you, then.
Alright, thank you very much for the excellent racing. Be sure to give both our runners a follow, join the Discord, all the things. Thank you very much to the folks at SpeedGaming for helping us promote the tournament and show it off. We've had some fantastic time, and there's still some tournament left to go. And then will be another match tomorrow, for example. And so we'll look forward to that. Goodbye, everybody.
Goodbye, thanks.
Bye-bye.